I'm trying to explain the lab using restriction enzyme to cut your PCR product to distinguish the wild type and mutant MSH2. So first we have to dilute 100x BSA into 20x BSA. This means it's a 5 times dilution. So if we start with 4 microliter 100x BSA, add 16 microliter water, that give a total of 20 microliter, and that's a 5 times diluted BSA, which is 20x. And then we need to figure out set up the reaction. The reaction, we have a 10x buffer plus restriction enzyme, that's the highly concentrated one. For every single reaction, we have a total volume of 20 microliter. This means we need to add 2 microliter 10x buffer. We also need a 2% restriction enzyme. 2% restriction enzyme means it's the 0.4 microliter. Of restriction, 0.4 microliter of restriction enzyme. And we also need 1 microliter 20x BSA. And the water should be remaining part. And because we have 10 microliter PCR product, the total is 20. That means the remaining the water should be 6.6 microliter. We have 3 kinds of PCR product: MSH2 plus, minus, and vector. The water should be 6.6 microliter. And we want to set up a master mix of 5 reactions. This is only because each one we want to take 0.4 microliter restriction enzyme, and 5 reaction means 2 microliter restriction enzyme, and 2 microliter is easier to pipette. So 5 microliter, that means the 2 times 5, we need 10 microliter buffer, 2 microliter restriction enzyme, 5 microliter 20x BSA, and 33 microliter water. And then you should have 3 fresh small Eppendorf tubes. Each one should labeled with a sample name of your PCR product. And in 2016 spring, this should be named SP0, SP1, SP something. And you should try. The goal is to determine which one of the MSH2 plus, which one is mutant, which is vector. And then you should add 10 microliter of master mix to each tube, and then add 10 microliter of the PCR product to each tube. So that's for the restriction enzyme reaction for each sample. And in some case, you don't know the wild type mutant the vector. You just need to decide it. For the uncut reaction, so we should add everything except restriction enzyme. everything minus restriction enzyme. So you should add a buffer, BSA, or water for your master mix, and you can replace restriction enzyme with water. And then you should add 10 microliter of the PCR product into those uncut reactions.